Welcome to the Dino Safari tutorial. Want to become a Scratch master? Schedule a free 1-hour online Scratch coding class with one of our amazing live coding instructors. Please ask your parents to help you sign up by visiting codewithus.com/free. Again, try us out for free by visiting codewithus.com/free. Now let's get to it. How to play Dino Safari. Playing Dino Safari is not only super fun, but also super easy. All you have to do is click the spacebar on your keyboard when the scope is hovering over either the T-Rex or the Pterodactyl to gain 5 points. Beware, if you accidentally shoot the Triceratops or the long-necked dinosaur, you will lose 5 points. Now, let's code Dino Safari. Your first step in this tutorial is to open up the game so we can remix it. Right here on the YouTube video that you're watching, all you have to do is scroll down a little bit and find this link in the description. It says click this link to get started, and you see these letters in blue. Once you see them, simply click it and it'll open up another window for you, and it's called Dino Safari, and all you have to do is click on the remix button to get started. Click it. Here we go. Now we have all the building blocks to get started on building our Dino Safari game. If you are new to Scratch, let me give you a quick breakdown to what is about to happen. Basically, in this video, we are going to code 5 sprites called Dinosaur 1, Dinosaur 2, Dinosaur 3, Dinosaur 4, and Scope. We will code our sprites by dragging and dropping code from the left side of the program into each specific sprite's code area. Let's begin by coding Dinosaur 1. First thing is first, make sure your Dinosaur 1 sprite is selected. If you are not sure if it is selected already, look down here to the right of the screen to check if Dinosaur 1 sprite is highlighted. If it is not highlighted, simply click it to make it highlighted. Once the correct sprite is selected, we need to code it. First, we will need an event that will start the code for our Dinosaur 1 sprite. Find the When Flag Clicked coding block that is located in the Events category. The Events category is yellow, so click it. Now, the coding block we're looking for is right here at the top. Please click it, hold it, and drag it out. Next, let's shrink our dinosaur down a bit to make it fit better on the game screen. Let's visit the Looks category and drag the Set Size to coding block underneath the When Green Flag Clicked coding block, like this. I go to Looks, and I need to find the Set Size to coding block, which is right down here. Now I simply click, hold, and drag it out. Now we need to select a certain percentage inside to see what size we want to make our sprite. Let's try 60. 60. Okay, now let's run the code. Press the green flag to run the code. Yes, our Dinosaur 1 has shrunk. We're halfway there. Now all we need to do is add 2 more coding blocks. The first coding block we will need is a forever loop. This block is located in the light orange category called Control. So please select the Control category and find this forever loop. Click it, hold, and drag it out. Now just place it underneath the Set Size to coding block from earlier. We will need this loop to help us run the motion coding block called Glide to Random Position through the entire game. So let's pull out the Glide to Random Position coding block and place it inside the forever loop. The Glide to Random Position coding block is located in the Motion category. So let's click on Motion and find it. Looks like it's right here. So now I'm just going to click it, hold, and drag it out and place it right inside of my forever loop. Once that is done, let's change the seconds value to a 3 instead of a 1. I'm just going to click on the 1, press delete on my keyboard, and press 3, and there we go. Now, let's run the code to see it in action. Press the green flag to see it in action. So as you can see, our dinosaur is moving, but only one of them is moving. We still need to code the other ones. So not to worry, that part will come shortly. Nice. Now we have our dinosaur 1 gliding to random positions around the stage. If you want the dinosaur to move a little quicker, you can always change the number in the motion block to something smaller than 3 seconds. For example, if I change the 3 to a 2 and I press the green flag, if you notice, he does move a little bit faster now. Let's leave it at 3 though. So I'm going to just change it back to 3. We have completed the code needed for Dinosaur 1. Now, let's code the rest of our sprites in our game. Dinosaur 2, Dinosaur 3, and Dinosaur 4. This part will be super easy because the other dinosaur sprites actually need the same exact code as Dinosaur 1. So let me teach you a quick trick on how to copy your code from one sprite to another. All you have to do is open your backpack at the bottom of the stage, like this, and drag your code into it. The way to drag your code into your backpack is by grabbing the block at the very top of the code. So please make sure you're grabbing onto when green flag clicked coding block so you can drag the rest of the coding blocks underneath it. Now once you have it, you will see that they all move together. Now move them all together down towards the bottom where it says backpack, and as soon as you see it turn blue, you just let it go and it uploaded for us. Now it's right here in our backpack, an exact copy of this code that is needed for the other sprites. So after you drag your code into your backpack, simply click on the other sprites you want to add the code to. Let's start with Dinosaur 2. I am just going to click on Dinosaur 2 down here, and you can see it becomes highlighted, and as you can also see is the code area for Dinosaur 2 is empty. What we need to do is drag out the code that we saved in our backpack into the Dinosaur 2 code area. So I'm going to click it, hold it, drag, and as you can see it turns blue. So once it turns blue like this, I just let it go, and poof, we have the same exact code from the Dinosaur 1. If you want to try it, go ahead and click the green flag. As you can see, Dinosaur 2 is moving just as Dinosaur 1 is. Now, let's repeat the process for Dinosaur 3. So I'm going to click on Dinosaur 3 down here, make sure that it's selected, and I'm going to go back into the backpack, grab the code I need, and drag it into the Dinosaur 3 code area. Now, as you can see, once again, we have Dinosaur 3 with the exact same code. So let's click the green flag again, and now we can see Dinosaur 3 is moving. Let's finish off by doing Dinosaur 4. Make sure to click Dinosaur 4 down here before we start doing anything. Now go back to the backpack, click on the code, and drag it out once again. Okay, now Dinosaur 4 has the same code as the other 3 sprites. Now we can click the green flag and see if it's working. It works. Now we can move on to coding the last and final sprite, the scope. The scope will have more capabilities than the dinosaur sprites, which means we will need to add new code blocks to the scope that we have not yet done in this tutorial. Let's start by making sure the scope sprite is selected. Move your mouse down here to the right and make sure that you click on your scope so that it's highlighted, and that way we ensure the code that we pull out will go to our scope. Now, let's get a few coding blocks out to start. After we pull them out, I will explain what they do together. First, we will need to pull out the when green flag clicked coding block. Of course, that's in our events category, so I'm just going to click, hold, and drag it out. Next, we will need the setup points to coding block. So I'm going to actually go to my variables here, and I actually have to create a variable. So let's make a variable. Now, we will call this variable points. So you can call it points or score, whichever one you prefer. I'm going to call it points, and I'm just going to select OK. Now, when I take out this coding block here, it says set my variable to, but if I click on it, I can see that my points option that I just created is there as well. So let's select points. And finally, we need the broadcast coding block. Okay, so the broadcast coding block is going to be in our events category, and it's right down here. Okay, so go ahead and pull this block out, and it says broadcast message 1. We're actually going to click here and create a new message. Make sure to click on new message so we get this little pop-up, and in the pop-up we're going to write the word target. Now, once you wrote target, press OK. Now it says broadcast target. There, now that we have this part of the code completed, let me explain what it does for a second. When the green flag is clicked, the points will make sure to set to 0. So it says when green flag clicked, set points to 0. And as you can see, our variable has appeared over here on the game screen, and it is at 0. That is, of course, what every new game score starts at, 0. The next coding block will broadcast a message to the next part of the code we are going to build. The message that we want to broadcast with this code block is the message target. This next script we are going to create will start with the when I receive message coding block right over here in the events category. So let's pull it out. And before we move forward, remember in our last code script we had a message called target being sent out. So when we have a broadcasted message, we must make sure that we have another coding block that will be able to receive it. So before we move forward, we want to change this message 1 to, say, target. So click on the drop down and make sure to click target. Now we have when I receive target. Basically, this means when this green flag is clicked and this broadcast target message is sent out, it will be received by this coding block when I receive target. Now, once the message is received, this coding block will activate whatever code we place underneath it. The first block that we will be activating when the message target is received is the go to XY coding block. Remember, the XY coding block is in motion, and it's right here. So let's click it, hold, and drag it out. After you pull this block out, we are going to change the values to x -150 and also y -150. So let's go ahead and click here first and change to -150 and do the same thing for the y value. We're going to make it -150. Okay, this will be the starting coordinates for the scope. If you would like it to start somewhere else on the screen when the game begins, feel free to play with your values. You can change the x and y values here and just play with it. The next block we need is the set size to coding block. That's over here in the looks category. And it's right down here, so I'm just going to drag it out. After we pull it out, we will just need to change the value to 40. So from 100 down to 40. That means we're going to shrink our scope as well. This will give our scope and the dinosaurs more space on the stage to move. The last part of the script might be a little tricky, so please pay close attention. First, let's pull out a forever loop, which is located in the control category. Now I'm just going to click it, hold it, and drag it out. Next, we are going to add the glide to XY coding block. So we're going back into the motion category, and we are pulling out the glide to XY coding block like this. Once you got it out, we are going to go into the operators category. Now pick random coding block, grab it, hold it, and drag it out here. Now before we put it in, make sure that when you're hovering it over the X value area that it glows. You see if I get too far it stops glowing, but once I pull it down it starts glowing and I can let it go. As you can see, it has stretched. Let me zoom out just a little bit and continue. We're going to have to repeat the process to the Y value as well. So please pick up another pick random coding block and do the same thing. Hold it when it glows, and once it's glowing, just drop it and it'll stretch for you. After we have these in place, we just need to fill in the values for the X area and the Y area. For the X area, we're going to add negative 150. For the Y area, we're just going to put positive 150. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. So negative 150 and just a positive 150 here. There. This code we have added in the forever loop will ensure that the scope will always be traveling quickly and randomly around the game area. Now that we are all done with this script and ready to move on to the final script of the tutorial. We have made it to the last script of the tutorial. After we finish this last piece of code, your Dino Safari project will be complete. First, let's pull out an event block called the when space key pressed. I'm going to go to my events and pull out this one right over here. Now I'm going to click and hold on the screen area and pull it up just a little bit to give me some space. Next, I will pull out a few more coding blocks to place underneath our space key event and then follow it up with an explanation of what they are for. We will need to pull out the stop other scripts in this sprite, which will be in under control. Scroll down. Here it is. Okay, so stop other scripts in this sprite. You kind of have to do a little bit of work to find it, but if you find the stop block, click the drop down and just click on other scripts in sprite. Now I can just click it, hold it, and drag it right out. Next, in the same category, we will need the repeat coding block. If I scroll up just a little bit, I can find it right here in the same category of control. It's called repeat 10. So I'm just going to click it, hold, and drag it out. Now let's pull out the change size by coding block and make sure to make the value a -7. If it has to do with the size, we have to look in the looks category and pull it out. It's right here, change size by 10, and we must change the 10 to a -7 value. Before we move on, let me quickly explain why we need these 4 coding blocks. The first block is to make sure this script will run when we push the space bar down on the keyboard. The second block will stop all the other scripts in the code. We need this to happen so that the scope stops over your target area when you press down on the space bar. The third and fourth block are meant to work closely together to make the scope narrow in on your target. We do that by shrinking the scope down by -7 10 times. Now, once again, I am going to pull out a few coding blocks to add to this script, and then follow it up with an explanation of what they are for. Let me introduce you to the first coding block. It's called an if-then statement. We're going to find it in the control category and then just click it, hold, and drag it out. Next, we're going to go to the operators category and pull out an or coding block, which is right here. I'm just going to click it, hold, and drag it out. And once again, I'm going to hover it over this space in the if-then condition and notice the glow. When it's glowing, I can drop it in, but if it's not glowing, it's not a good idea. So make sure it's glowing and then just drop it and it should snap right in. Next, we're going to go to the sensing category and pull out the coding block that says touching mouse pointer. We're going to grab it, take it and put it in one of the spaces in the OR coding block. Notice again, there's a glow that happens before I need to let it go. So now that it's glowing, I'm going to drop it in and it should stretch for me like this. Now I need to do it once more with the second spot that's available in the OR coding block. So I'm just going to move it, make sure it's glowing, and then drop it in and watch it stretch. Now before moving on, we have to change this part where it says touching mouse pointer. Instead of mouse pointer, we want it to read dinosaur 1. So touching dinosaur 1 or touching dinosaur 2. Okay, once you have that, we can move on. The next part is to add a sound. So we're going to go to sound and get the coding blocks that says start sound. Instead of win, however, we're going to change it to grunt. Next, we're going to go to the looks category and pull out a coding block that says say hello. Now click it, hold, drag it out, and put it right underneath the sound coding block. Instead of hello, however, we're going to change the words to say you lost 5 points! Exclamation. Now, once you change the words here for the say coding block, you can move on and go over to variables. And in the variables, we're going to take the coding block that says change my variable. And that's going to go right underneath the last coding block that we pulled out. So for this one, we're also going to change some things. For example, the my variable has to change. Please click it, look on the drop down, and click on points. So it should say change points by. Now all we have to do is change this 1 into a -5. Did you get that? Please make sure your code resembles exactly what is showing on my screen. If you need to take a few extra minutes to pull things together, feel free to do so. Now that this part of the code is complete, let me introduce you to the if-then coding block we just added. This if and then coding block is powerful because it only lets very specific conditions like touching dinosaur 1 or dinosaur 2 run the code that's inside. In this case, we have a condition that says if touching dinosaur 1 or dinosaur 2, that's the Triceratops and this long-necked dinosaur, then start the grunt, which is a sound that we have added. Also, it will say you lost 5 points, and also change our points by -5. That's this score that's up here in the top left. No matter what score you have, if you accidentally shoot dinosaur 1 or dinosaur 2, then your score will drop by 5. This part of the code is basically the part that penalizes you for making a mistake of shooting the wrong dinosaur. Remember, you are only supposed to shoot dinosaur 3 and 4. That's the T-Rex and the Pterodactyl. Now, we are almost done. Great job making it this far. We only need a few more coding blocks to be done with the Dino Safari game. After we put the next few coding blocks together, I will follow it up with an explanation of what they are for. First, let's go to control. Next, pull out the if-then statement. Now we're going to go to operators, and once again pull out an OR coding block. And now we're going to go to sensing, pull out the touching coding block, and put it right inside of the OR space. Now we need just one more, so I'm going to click, hold, drag it out, and put it here. Now this looks familiar, right? The top part, we did the same thing, and we changed it to dinosaur 1 and dinosaur 2. This part of the code, we need to change it to say dinosaur 3 and dinosaur 4. Let's keep going. The next part we need is a sound coding block. So I'm going to pull out this one right here. Now this time we just leave it as win. After that we go to looks and pull out the say hello coding block. And we're going to put it right underneath the start sound. Now I'm going to change the hello to say something else. I want it to say you gained 5 points. Okay, now the last part of this if-then statement will be a variable, and I need my change my variable coding block here. Now I'm just going to change the value here that says my variable, and I'm going to make it say points. Now the value itself, the number here, number 1, will need to change to a 5, a positive 5. Now we're done with the if-then statement, but we just need one more coding block to go underneath. I'm going to go to my events and take out the broadcast target coding block. As you can see, I have pulled out almost exactly the same code as the last part. This code resembles this code an awful lot, doesn't it? Can you guess what it does? Sure you can. This code is using another if-then statement. This is used to check to see if dinosaur 3 or dinosaur 4 is touching the scope. If they are touching the scope, then we're going to do a few things here. First, we're going to start the sound win, because it is actually a good thing to shoot dinosaur 3 and dinosaur 4. We're also going to say you gained 5 points for 2 seconds, and then we're going to change the points by 5. That's this score that we created by 5. So no matter what you have, it will go up by 5 points if you shoot dinosaur 3 or dinosaur 4. The final block that I need to explain is called the broadcast target block, and we put it right underneath the final if-then statement. Basically, when we press the space bar and the code we just created is over, the last thing it will do is send out a message to the when I receive coding block script we had created earlier in this tutorial. That way, no matter what the scope, always continues to travel randomly across the game area. So basically, when this code is over, this broadcast target will communicate with this part of our script, and it will tell the scope to basically reset by going back to these coordinates and also forever gliding across the stage at random positions. That way we ensure our game continues until we are ready for it to stop. Congratulations! You finished the Dino Safari tutorial. Now the only thing left to do is play the game. You play the game by clicking the green flag to start. There, you can see our scope is moving around the screen, and so are our dinosaurs. If you would like to see the screen bigger, click here on the top right. It says full screen control. Now we have a full screen and we can enjoy our game even better. Remember, the objective is to shoot our T-Rex and the Pterodactyl. Avoid shooting the Triceratops and the long-necked dinosaur. So let's play. I just have to wait for the scope to hover over one of our dinosaurs, and then I can shoot like that. I got him. As you can see, my points have gone up as well by 5. I did it again. Good luck on your Dino Safari hunting. Thank you for watching, and remember, this tutorial was brought to you by Code With Us. Want to become a Scratch master? Schedule a free 1-hour online Scratch coding class with one of our amazing live coding instructors. Please ask your parents to help you sign up by visiting codewithus.com/free. Again, try us out for free by visiting codewithus.com/free.